We are in. We are live. Welcome to the start of the Nutrition Challenge. We are live at 5:30-ish. Happy to see everybody here. You guys, we have the ability also to pin your guys' comments. So as you guys go through, throw your questions and what have you in there. And then later on, when we go to the question part of the broadcast, we will go into it. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you give me a thumbs up in the comments if you guys could hear us okay, and we are good to go? Okay, but you
guys, welcome to the Matt Show.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding, but for real, if you guys can
graphics.
Okay, if you guys see how cool all this stuff is, I do give him credit for all of that. He made all of this super cool. I mean, there's graphics, there's ways to pull up parts of the packet, there's ways to pull up your guys' comments. So thank you.
Yes.
For spending time doing that and making it so pretty.
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so how should we get into it? Do you want to just dive right into the first start of the packet?
Like my sweatpants. You guys, you forget you're at home all the time, you know?
You can sit there in your sweatpants.
I am sitting here in my sweatpants. You just
Road to
like
regionals, baby. RIP regionals. Who is
we can. Is everyone, are we close enough to?
Yeah, I just try to pull it away so you don't stare at that and you can look at the people directly.
But basically, as of now, you guys should have received your email this morning with the packet, and then you should have been on a text message. I think almost everyone has talked to all members of their groups as far as the text messages go for your team and your team color. And then just a reminder to get your video into your team that's just on your group messaging. That's not to social media or anything. A video of just those questions that were sent out in the email so that you guys can get to know each other and see each other's faces.
Should I do one of them right now?
Okay.
That wasn't part of our
You have to say your name.
Okay.
These are the questions to go over. Your name.
Hi, my name is Matt.
Have you done the challenge before?
No, I have not done the challenge before.
If no, what caused you to join this year?
I'm also not joined this year.
Okay, close enough. What class do you frequent at CFL?
All of them. I frequent every single class the whole entire day.
Incorrect. You don't go to like 6:30 p.m. that often.
I haven't been at 6:30 p.m. that often.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
Obviously myself.
Okay. And if you have to pick one of the questions, I'll give you one of them. If you had to make one pet peeve illegal, what would it be? That's hard off the top of your head. If you got to steal one thing without repercussions, what would it be? If you could skip if you could get rid of 1 month of the year, what would it be?
I would keep all the months of the year.
Literally terrible.
This was hard because I didn't have time to think about it. So, okay, well, let's get into the packet a little bit. Top 5 class times.
I would get rid of June because, why? Okay, back into the packet.
Problems with June.
Just like, why? What are we doing?
We've had a lot of people with questions as well, too, guys. So start putting those in the comment section now. If anything you have on the diets or what you're supposed to be eating, or questions about where you have to be places in person versus different things you could do on your own and all of that.
Perfect. This is the wrong version. I want the other version.
What's that?
Of the packet. It's close enough. We'll go with it.
Okay. So we're going to go point system. Is there anything you want to discuss about that?
So we're not going to, I was saying earlier, it's like, I feel like this is like syllabus day, which is like the best day in school when you just go over all the rules and stuff. But that's only fun because like you have to be there. So I'm assuming that you guys kind of generally read all of the rules. And if you have any questions on them, just post them. We'll go over that. But as far as your daily points, where things can go awry, I guess, so you're logging everything. And then I'd say if you skip any kind of meal, or you generally don't like eat breakfast, or you don't really eat lunch, just write that on your food log so that it looks like you kind of like participated, not like, even if you don't eat it, whatever, just write like no lunch, didn't eat lunch, or don't like lunch, whatever you want to do. The vegetables, the water, like we'll go into that with serving sizes in a little bit. And then anytime you have any food on the avoids list, that's -2. So we're going to say if you had 2 pieces of pizza, that's -4.
Are we in the point
serving
system?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's just kind of the
Banner.
packet and the, okay.
I had to get my stuff out of here.
Right. So anytime you have anything on the avoids list. So like if you had pizza and pizza. I'm like ragging on pizza. If you had like loaded nachos and wine, then that would be -4.
And you are also mentally weak because you joined this challenge and it's 8 weeks long. So don't have that. Yes, you got to do it with me, baby.
I think we're going to live vlog Matt this whole time. And then anytime anyone slips up, you're mentally weak. Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm calling people out on the internet. So be prepared for that.
No. I mean, I'm going to call. Yeah.
Anyways, keep going. So yeah, if you have a bunch of crap on the avoids list, you get a bunch of points off. It's not
like you go -2 and it's like a free for all.
Yeah, you can't have one total crap meal and then think, oh, now I'm just gonna have -2. No, minus a bunch of them.
The other one, and I think this one's a huge one that comes up, and it explains it as best as I can without boring people to death, but the exercise. So that's 20 minutes of exercise, but I do not imagine you doing like the workout Fran every single day of the challenge.
Is that what moderate? So we do have a question from Mary here. I'm going to put this up. So she asked if can we quantify it in moderation?
That might be about one of the food parts later, probably about protein bars. But
also, I'm just going to throw this one up. 10 out of 10 on the graphics. Thank you, Glenn. It's amazing. I'm just super excited here.
I'll start commenting things like that so that he does this now. Guys, wait till the end.
Or do it. Whatever.
Or do it. The moderation one probably comes a little bit later.
It was food. It was food Mary was talking about.
Okay.
So here's the question.
The exercise one, though, is just 20 minutes. And the whole idea is to create the habit of whatever you do in your daily routine, like shake that up, like take 20 minutes out every day for your health. So if that's going for a walk in the middle of your work day, if you're working from home, I guess that used to be like when you were out, but we don't do that.
Would or can you count reading as part of their 20 minutes for their health? No, because that's the exercise. Dumb question.
I do like that might come in later then for part of a but I want them to it could be yoga though. It could be just kind of taking 20 minutes out of your day to make it about yourself and about your health.
Because it'll pick it up.
Slammer.
Yeah, and that could also be stretching, guys. So remember, you could stretch as part of that time. You could foam roll a little bit. You could work on your recovery, which we all know we are lacking quite a bit of. Okay. Sure. So that was Mary's question. Thank you very much for that. Are we back to the point system? Anything else?
I guess the other things are that little random parts of points pop up here and there for funsies. So for example, today on Instagram, there was like a graphic and if you reposted it and
some of you guys were real creative with that too.
I know we loved those. Especially Davies fat Spider-Man.
Yes, that was hilarious.
I understand that not everyone has access to all types of social media and like is glued to social media. I don't want anyone to feel like they're going to miss any points because they're not like paying enough attention. I hate that feeling myself in this online world. So any of the big actual team challenges or the weekly challenges, those will be sent to you on email where everyone can access them. There might be fun little parts on like Instagram or whatever that are a little this and a little that, but like don't feel like you have to be like looking at all these angles and you're constantly missing things.
One thing I want to bring up here, because I think a lot of people might have this. We have Matt, he's asking, does mowing the lawn count as part of the exercise piece for the 20 minutes? What's the call there?
Taking out the trash counts because that's Matt's 20 minutes.
What?
Just kidding.
No, it has to be.
We live in like suburbia.
Okay, so here
you were really going for it.
Hold on, let's define it real quick. So if it has to be selfish exercise, meaning you can't be doing it for any other reason but for yourself. That's how we'll define it. And I guess you could say mowing the lawn, but without getting too technical.
That's for Stephanie too.
So it has to be for yourself.
That's for your neighbors.
I also want to circle back around to Mary's question about the moderation with the food.
That comes in the serving sizes one.
Okay, so we're gonna wait. Are we waiting on that till a little bit later?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll circle back around to that. Point system, we're still on here. Anything else we want to go over with that? Any other questions you guys have about the point system? Throw them in there now. Otherwise, we'll be moving on. So. Okay, next subject, diet.
Diet.
So if you guys have questions about certain things with diet, which I think we did.
Hold on.
Okay, so before we get into the questions, Megan, hold on. Sorry, I have your question, but hold on.
Thing about diet has to do with, I tried to give you kind of like a list of like encouraged foods, just so you felt like you had stuff to pull from and you didn't feel like everything was a question, in terms of like what's good and not good. The other list that's on there is your avoids list, and that kind of sums it up. So if it's not on the avoids list, this is a really strong thing to say, then I'm not even saying might be okay. I'm not even saying it. No.
What?
If it's not on the avoids list, it might be okay because I'm not no.
We have a question about the avoids list.
Incorrect.
As well.
But okay, hold on.
Yep.
But the diet and someone else, we had already talked about this on text, but the diet itself and the quantity of food you're eating and the kinds of foods you're eating, I feel like when people go, I feel like this nutrition challenge is a little bit different because I really want to get personal with each one of you and give you guys like the best way to go forward outside of this challenge. So other challenges are like this like transformation, like 8-week, like body weight, blah, blah, blah. Like this one isn't about that. This one is about you doing well for 8 weeks because you have accountability, but then kind of having tools so you can do well for the rest of the time outside of it too. So I really want to set you up for that. So I feel like when you try to make good choices for the first like week or two, I see your food logs. I can give you like real talk information about how we can kind of tweak that to make it work better for you. So I could be like, hold on, like you're not eating any of whatever at all. Like maybe let's try to add that in and we'll work on that. Versus if you just try to kind of go off of what you think is the best way to do it and you just completely change up your diet, I don't know that that's not what you're doing all the time. So I can't give you enough feedback on it. So in terms of how much you're eating.
So make it realistic
the time, yeah, how the quantity of what you're eating, just do your best guess in the beginning. And then we'll totally kind of adjust it as we need to.
Okay. Anything else as far as that?
Do you want to go to a commercial break real quick? So we need to go to a commercial break real quick.
We do?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Okay. All right, I'm back by myself. We have this light on here and obviously doing a podcast with Albert every single Tuesday. By the way, you guys can check us out at 11 on Tuesdays. Some of us aren't used to the whole setup at the camera. Grace got a little hot. We had to cut to commercial break. I'm coming back. Also, too, by the way, I found out how to load commercials. So clearly I'm going to be making a bunch of spoof commercials for things. Okay, she's back and she ditched the sweats. Okay, we're back.
My sweats were like, I think if you ever get trapped in the snow, you should wear them because I was really, really hot this whole time.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
We're back
yes,
though.
That was hilarious.
So in terms of your diet, it didn't happen. You do the best guess. I would say also is one of the banners about serving sizes.
Yes, I have the serving size banner. Un momento, and boom, we are serving size banner. We are back. And there we go. Okay,
so serving sizes on here is that one you guys got in your packet. And that's kind of just, I guess people are asking all the time when I'm like, eat more protein. And they kind of just put like chicken. And the best that you can get at measuring your foods, the best we can give like feedback on how to make your diet better. It's not necessary that every time you have rice or chicken or anything, you're like measuring it out. But if you want any kind of feedback on it and you just put down rice, I have no idea how much you ate on it and I can't help you with that. I can help you with kind of the types of foods you're eating, but just the closer you get to saying like half cup, maybe you ate 3 cups, like whatever you do, putting that down. So I guess these are kind of the serving sizes on there in your packet are kind of like general guidelines for like 1 serving. So making sure you get in enough each time you're getting in protein or
we had some questions on that as well too with the avoids list. Laura had one about rice, I do believe. Did you want to do that now?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So I'm bringing it up. Boom. I noticed this year the rice was approved. Usually it's brown. Are you keeping it to brown rice or white rice is allowed in moderation?
So we had in the past done that brown and white rice. That's also kind of like chips come into play with certain things too. I think it's easier to say brown rice only because very rarely do we super overeat large amounts of brown rice for no reason. I do not feel the same about white rice. I feel like people will go to town on white rice in like wrapped around their sushi, white rice in a rice bowl, like
wrapped around your sushi.
People go myself included. Okay. Don't take me out of this.
So are you staying with the brown rice?
A lot of white rice. No, so it doesn't say any specifics on the type of rice, doesn't say any specifics on the type of potato.
There you go, Laura. Go to town on that white rice.
And there's nothing wrong with either, especially like I know there's different like digestive even issues that can get brought up with different types of different rices, but all kinds of grains and all kinds of potatoes are included as long as they're not like white refined grains.
Okay, and then we had another one here. I want to circle back around from Megan. She's asking about which proteins are good for vegetarians.
So that comes
Beef.
in
No, I'm just
like a little bit in the packet. I tried to at least include a little bit of.
Is that do you want to circle back around to her on a one-on-one basis?
No. There was when it got switched over into a different format. But there was different proteins for vegetarians, and that you just kind of need to be more, I guess, aware of where you're coming from. So different types of like tofu, different types of beans and lentils. I don't love the idea of just like fake chicken nuggets, fake
chicken nuggets.
It's just like they make a lot of like frozen things that are like plant-based burgers. Like some of those are really great. And then some of them, like even the ones from Costco, some of them, like the first ingredient in them is like canola oil, like one of the ones at Costco. So I guess it's just becoming more, but that's the whole challenge, is just becoming more aware of the ingredient list of the foods that you're putting in your body. So I can send out a thing about people that are vegetarian or plant-based or whatnot.
Yeah, or you can just send it to her directly at the end.
Tried to, if there are more people, we tried to kind of do this last year. If there are more people who are plant-based, we can kind of get a little thing going for those kinds of people.
So let her know, shoot her an email, and that way we could get everybody on the same page. All right, next question. Boom. Is dextrose powder okay? Tracy's here. No, it's not, because it's a sugar, and basically
but
it's the same
for
thing
like
as a sugar,
what reason and what are we using it for?
To sweeten it so my food tastes better.
maybe not, but probably not, but talk to me.
Okay. What about dairy products?
Dairy in general is not, there's nothing wrong with it, other than some people's digestive systems have issue, and I'd say like more people than they know have issues with it. So if you guys are using this as a time to kind of like just completely get healthy and kind of figure out how the best way your body can feel, if you were to cut it out or just kind of be aware of when you're having it, you might realize it does different things to you than you originally thought. However, dairy itself is fine. So regular milk is fine. Regular Greek yogurt, all of those things, completely fine.
Okay, perfect. And then Tracy actually followed up with that. She said she's using it for pre-workout for RP.
The RP, the workout stuff. I don't know that that's super necessary. I think RP and RP templates are put out to the masses as if they're like general templates for everyone, but I think there's so much more performance based than they're coming off as. So I think we can find other sources of sugars like that that aren't going to come off. I'm not trying to like dump on RP, because
you're not. You're just taking heck long to answer the question. Just answer it straight. Build authenticity.
We'll come up with different pre-workout stuff.
She'll hook you up with a better thing for you personally, rather than something that's just built for a bunch of like a mass audience. So we'll just fine tune it specifically for you. She put, I could use coconut
never like
water.
Talking bad about what.
There you go. You're not talking bad. You just need to give the information. And by the way, so we all know Lindsay spelled dairy correctly. She went back and I got it. Okay, don't want to leave that up there.
I get that.
Can we add Crystal Light to our water or no?
When I heard the word crystal, my brain went somewhere else. No. You can add fruit. You can add, and if you seep it like for a while, they make some of them, like I know Cindy Souza has one, but like they make some where like the inside base is like where fruit can go and water is around it. But honestly, you could just seep like in a container, like you could put like lemon, you could put berries, you could put any kind of citrus stuff, and it'll seep into your water and you'll taste it a lot more. And it's way better for you than any of that other kind of stuff.
In numb tabs.
Who said that?
David.
I was literally just going to say, but numb tablets are the one thing. Wow.
Oh,
but it was Dave. That makes sense.
Got it.
He knows my brain. But this.
There we go. All right.
Those are the one thing. They have like a little, maybe tiny bit of sugar in them. They're none tablets. They sell them everywhere now, like Target and Safeway and obviously Amazon. And you drop them into your water.
Store.
Right. You drop them into your water and then give your water a little bit of flavor, because we can't completely cut out like every single thing. But those are really good, and they give you a little just electrolyte and stuff like that, and they mix up just boring water. So those we do say are good. Okay.
He said 2 points for 200. They sell them at Sunrise Mountain Sports in downtown.
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So thank you for the tip
Go there instead.
Laura. Yep.
Don't give money to Jeff Bezos.
Okay. Anything else with the diets that you want to add? I think there was another graphic here, the food log. Do you want to transition real quick into the food log piece?
I would say yes, in diets, because a lot of questions are going to come up and a lot of things are going to get adjusted over the first 2 weeks. The most important thing that you can do, and it says it like on the packet somewhere, like on the top of the avoids list. Yes, it says we're looking to avoid added sugar and unnecessary additives. Look at added sugar on a nutrition label and check the ingredients to find the sources of sugar. So there's going to be tons of questions on like, is this food okay? Is this food not okay? What we're looking for on the food label, and we'll go into this in a couple like different weekly emails, but usually now when you turn over a food label, like, oh, I brought this here. This one is can they see this? Yeah. This one is,
of course, they get hit.
Kombucha, and some of them are fine and some of them are not fine. So it's like on the approved list, but making sure. Ooh, wait, can it?
Okay.
Is that even?
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, we should maybe get the graphic. Anyways,
all right.
If we had the graphic, it says
have the graphic.
Total carbohydrates, 12 grams. Total sugars, 12 grams. But then under that, it says added sugars. And then that says 0 grams. So different foods, like if you took a food label of like an apple or any kind of fruit, they would say like total sugars, like even like 5-10 grams. But added sugars is what we care about. So anytime you're turning over food, and you guys will be like super surprised, like we did this in the first week last year, but like, I mean, peanut butter, ketchup, like bread, like everything they're putting added sugars into. And that's the only ones that we really care about for this. So anytime you're kind of wondering on, is your food okay or not? Look at first of all, the nutrition label, and then try to look for in the beginning, added sugars and see that. And that should kind of help dictate it in the beginning.
Okay. Anything else with those, or should we move on to, that's just it for that piece.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Okay.
The food log.
All right. Perfect.
Oh, Atomic Habits.
Yeah. Okay. So some of you guys probably saw the little video that I had, and I think it's actually a perfect segue from what Grace was just talking about. Let me bring back up the comments so we could still keep that going. Garlic salt. Cool. Thanks, Ash. Don't know what that was from.
Probably sugar in it.
Oh, yeah. It's sneaky. It's everywhere.
Bro, they put it everywhere.
Okay, so you guys know I recommended this book. I made a small video about it, kind of explaining, but I'll be using some of the strategies here as to give myself a little talking point to help with kind of, I guess, the mental side and the habit side that you guys will be thinking about with this, which will go perfectly along with what Grace was talking about, is trying to use this 8 weeks as a launch pad to your eating for the rest of the time. What's up?
Look at that one.
I know, I keep looking at the wrong one. And using it as a launch pad to hopefully keep your eating healthy for a very, very long time after this challenge. So with that being said, awareness is going to be the first step in the book, not in the book. Well, the first step that we're going to be doing here with the challenge, which is flipping over you guys' food labels. But while you're noticing your food labels, once you guys have your cravings or different things that come up for that snack, or when you would snack, pay attention to your environment, number one, and then pay attention to your state of mind at that time. Oftentimes we snack.
Very good points.
Yeah, thank you. Don't mind if I do. More than just fancy graphics over here, you know what I'm saying? So both those things will help us start to just bring more awareness as the habits that you're setting. And you guys will notice in the book that there's a couple important things that play a role. And when we kind of grease the neurological grooves that just mindlessly walk us through these habits that we have, especially when it comes to snacking and it comes to bad eating. So when you're flipping over that food label and you're looking at stuff, also think about, why did I head to the cupboard right now? Was I procrastinating on some sort of school project that I needed to get done, or perhaps an email for my nutrition challenge? You weren't even paying attention because I just totally made jokes at you. You weren't even paying attention.
Am I procrastinating? I'm hearing it now. Am I procrastinating on things for that was uncalled for.
Caught her. She totally wasn't even paying attention to me. So
I'm procrastinating on this live too. Just procrastinating all the time.
Anyhow, notice your state of mind as you're headed to get those snacks, and what you're kind of doing at that time. That'll help us start to set in strategies that will cure us away from those habits. So there's a link inside, I think my Instagram, also on the YouTube video that I made explaining a little bit more of the first part of the book in detail. So you guys could go check that out.
And we can include it in the weekly email too. So
and then you'll see a piece of it that we'll be talking about kind of following along. And you guys could ask me about that as well. Cool. Do we have anything else, or does that pretty much wrap us up?
The stuff we need to go over?
Yeah.
No,
I was just explaining that will be
the food log and then these.
Okay. And then, the bracelets.
Thank God someone pays attention.
Okay.
Go to the food log first. Go to the food log first.
I'm going to the food log first. Okay, there it is, over your face. Not mine. I'm still over here. Okay, go. Talk about the food log. We are such a dork.
Does it look like I'm looking at the food log?
It does, yes.
That's cool.
Okay, we're actually live and people are watching. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going.
So on your food log, we got options. This was sent out earlier, but you can you can write on it physically. Some people like that and like having that method. You can write on it physically and you can turn it in on Sundays. You can write it in physically and you can email it to me. Also, you can take a picture of it and you can email it to me. You can also use this because it should have come as a PDF, and I can include, I'll just include the one piece of the food log in the email tonight. And you can use that and you can just edit it as a PDF and you can type over it. And this food log is just supposed to kind of help you. If this structure doesn't work perfectly for you, that's no issue. And we can work something else. This just gives you something to work off of. So wait, bring it back.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so on it, what you'll see is breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner. Do you have to eat all of these? No. It just gives you a place for what works. Putting down as much of your serving size as you can and putting down what time these happened are all things that are going to help if you want more feedback on it. They're not mandatory. It's just the more detail you give, the better feedback I can give you. Then you'll also see each day on the side, you see H2O, which you can either, if you went to 70 ounces, you could give a check mark. You could you could tally it up there. You can use that however you want to use it. There's no like right way to use this, I guess is what I'm saying. Veggies, right now you need to get 2 servings, which is on the serving size portion of the packet, but it's a half a cup of cooked veggies or 1 cup of raw veggies. So you could get that all in one meal. You could eat that multiple times throughout the day, whatever you want to do. You can give that veggie thing a check mark or whatever. And then your exercise, you could write down what it is. You could give it a check mark. Now, what happens with the food log is that we're going off of honesty.
Am I pulling this away now?
Sure.
I feel like if we're gonna yell at him now, you gotta
you gotta
be
off
sincere.
Of honesty. So each week you are going to, and this was what happened last year.
As in, if you don't do it and you later on get all your measurements and your performance stuff back, we will know you didn't do it.
We'll tell everyone.
We'll
put it in the little fancy comment things that Matt figured out how to do here. But you are going to tally up your total points every week and put them in that top box. So if you got 100, as in you got all your veggies, you got all your water, you exercised, and you didn't eat anything off the avoids list, that is how you get 100 points. And you'll put 100 up at the top. If you choose to eat anything on the avoids list, that's -2 every time. And you need to tally up your own points and put it up in there. But other than that, the food log is kind of how you want to make it work. Those are just kind of suggestions on how it seems easiest for other people.
And then one question that kind of is the same. This is Zach here, and he was asking any recommended app for the tracking the food, which
I usually would say MyFitnessPal is it's a good one because it's so large that it has like such a large database of the different foods that you have. So
it makes it easy and convenient at this point.
You can take your phone and you can just scan a barcode, and it has like so much more information than any of the other ones at this point. So I think that one's easy. And it's free, so that's nice. But they have an app that works pretty well for it. So that's one I'd vote for.
And then we'll circle back around another question Nakoa had about added sugars that's allowed, for example, like peanut butter.
So right now we're going for 0. And in specific foods, there's no reason to have any. Trader Joe's has a few peanut butters and almond butters and whatever you want butters. They should just be nuts and maybe oil. But there's no other reason to add other things. They don't taste quite as desserty. And then Costco has 3 different brands that are, they have no sugar added. I just checked the other day. So super easy to find stuff. In a couple of things, like it might come in here and there, but for now in general, we're going to try to say 0 grams of added sugar. I know it's bold.
Okay. Cool. Any other thing that you want to cover right now? We did the food log. We'd have the bracelets. Boom, 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 boom.
Like backwards already.
One of you guys' questions, if you have them too, we'll continue that.
This is the worst way to show this I've ever done. It's just showing my hand. Okay. So I could have done that.
There you go.
That's better. You guys, if you were at Mobility today, you already have yours, but I could do this too. That's probably makes more sense. Mine is just pink and purple. I'm not on the pink and purple team. Don't worry. All of the bracelets that we have are, I think they're embossed.
That says too bad for that one.
That's fine. They say CrossFit Livermore on them. So each of you will get your bracelet. That's the color of your team. And you can wear it. You can wear it the whole time.
No, not you can wear it
the whole time.
Yeah, I was gonna say not that you can wear it. I think is that it should be a symbol of your commitment to these 8 weeks. So that way, every time you look down at your wrist before you go to make your bad decision on I just need my glass of wine, before you go ahead and go down that rabbit hole, look at your band. You're letting me down. You're letting Grace down.
You're letting your team down.
You've let the whole team down.
So they'll be in whatever color your team is.
Don't let us down.
And each time you kind of think of what you're doing, you can use it as a little motivation to kind of remember that there's a lot of other people that are doing this at the same time as you.
Yes.
And they're all kind of making sacrifices. But you guys, it's only 8 weeks.
It is.
We'll say this 100 times.
And
literally, it's not that long.
It's not, especially when you think about like everything through this year and how fast it's gone by and how it's just kind of been a time warp.
Slow but fast.
So you guys know, is there a total sugar? Yes. So that was what we had just actually talked about that in the answer to that is 0. You're going for 0 added sugar. Otherwise, you will get minus points for whatever you eat with the sugar into it. So expect some sugar withdrawal because that is actually real. But
there is other sugars that will happen. Like there's naturally occurring sugars in fruits and in any dairy and some other things. So like, for example, on this like kombucha, it said 12 grams of sugar, but 0 grams of added sugar. So it's going to come from different like methods, like different sugars. Those aren't the ones that we care about right now. We care about the stuff that's being added in. That also being said, anytime you add in honey, anytime you add in agave, anytime you add in coconut sugar, even if they're organic, you're adding in sugar or your recipe or your product has been added sugar in, and those all count as added sugar. So that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yes. And then Lindsay, another thing, do we log seasonings?
No.
As long as your seasonings
thinking about salt, but no.
As long as your seasonings don't qualify as Kinder's barbecue sauce, you're good to go.
Sauces, I would say yes.
It's legitimately a seasoning and not a sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. No, usually there's like way other things that we can focus on changing that is like, that's too specific. I will say though, another question that comes up is like oil or anything we're using to cook in a pan. Does that need to be included? And again, I would say no in the beginning, unless what we're trying to do with your food log is getting like super, super, super particular. And then we can look at maybe where different calories are coming in that we don't realize. But in general, it's not necessary at this point. No.
Okay.
So you don't have to do those things.
Awesome. I was going to say something, but I completely forgot. Okay. So I think that's pretty much covers everything.
Natural derived sugar.
That gets our questions done.
Is that what?
I do believe that
isn't
is.
That one that said natural derived?
No,
sugar?
That was Ashley, and that was coming in delay because we already answered that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to ask people if they have more questions that you want to ask.
Okay. So throw out any more.
All the teams will get posted up. So you guys can find out who's on the other teams too. It was just, you guys got a little.
Awesome. So we have another one from Allie here. She's asking about brands of protein powders or protein bars to get.
Yeah, and if I start looking at the camera,
I think, I think, do you still have that list where you had all the ones that were written out versus like good versus bad options?
Yeah, there's so many protein bars that are on the market, but yes. And I said this is someone else earlier. Usually if we're talking protein powder or drink form or protein bar, the protein powder or drink form, even if they're pre-made, are you're gonna find less additives in them that we don't dislike because they're not trying to stay shelf stable and stay in the food form. So when we're trying to make it stay in food form, there's certain things we have to add to it to make it stay as if it's a bar on the shelf, right? We don't have to do that with powders, and then we don't have to do that with drinks like quite as much. So I'd say drinks and powders are an easier way to find clean ingredients, but there definitely are bars that are challenge approved.
And I think she'll
and also I'll send them out, I guess. But protein powders, again, you should be looking for the added sugar. That's a whole thing. And then you should be getting, I'd say like bare minimum 20 grams of protein within a serving, so call it scoop or whatever they call it. And you should generally be able to find it for 130 to 180 calories.
And one of the ones that is relatively cheap that I know is clean is from Now Sports, and it's just 100% whey protein. And you could get that, I think even at like Trader Joe's, they sell small batches of it, or like different health food stores of Now Sports. Yeah.
But probably maybe the one down, or no, the van's closed.
I don't know, but either way, or and if you like that one, they also make it with like a vanilla extract, so it has a little vanilla flavor in it. And if you like those ones, you can buy like a 10-pound bag off Amazon for like $50. So it's super cost effective too. Okay.
And then they do, so whey protein does come from milk. So if you're more of that plant-based vegan, any of the pea proteins, they've now like really figured out how to make those taste good. Hemp proteins, those are all kind of the more vegan, vegetarian options.
And are you going to send the protein bars, bad versus good ones out to them as well? Did you say that?
It happens eventually. I don't know if that's on the track for right now, but I will send out a couple of them that I know are approved. I know that the Kirkland brand ones are approved. Okay. The Kirkland brand, they make usually like a peanut butter brownie.
That was like the best one. Yeah, like
cookie dough, cinnamon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along, but the Kirkland brand ones.
Okay, so Megan's got a question here. She's asking, how do we know who our partners are?
So that will be sent out on email. All the teams will be, so you can see like who's on what. And it was set as partners, but then I did a quick flip and made it teams of 5. So also, I will say with the partners last year, we had teams of 6, so people were partnered. But the Super Bowl happened, and I got mad because some partners were like, I'm going to drink, you're going to drink, and we're both going to do the penalty together, and we're both going to suffer through it. So I said, So you won't have a partner. The team will go in order. So 1 will be responsible for 2, will be responsible for 3 to 4 to 5. So you dump your responsibilities on someone else, and you don't get to do anything about whatever happens to them. Your responsibilities come from someone different, if that makes sense.
Your punishment. So if someone else screws up that's above you, like in the number system, not necessarily like above you, but if they're a 1 and you are scheduled a 2, then you receive the punishment for what they did.
But you give a punishment to someone different
if you drink a bunch of wine.
So you can't
I don't know why I harp
drink
on
on
thing.
The Super Bowl and have it be fine because you're both going to do the challenge together.
Unless the whole team packs in and does it, in which case I think you guys are a bunch of quitters.
Quit.
Okay. Yeah, we have teams. Okay,
so that same thing.
Okay.
Boom. So that's sent out tonight.
What about meal replacement powder shakes? Should we send info for your approval?
Probably. Again, we're looking for sugar in them pretty much. And that pretty much takes it out, because if they're not putting that in, I generally say their products are worrying about, they're more health forward than some of the others, like that are more like taste forward. But probably like for specifics, I'd love to look over it and just make sure it's all good. I will say though, like we're going off of our rules as best as we can. And I'm not going to like the first week or the first 2 weeks be like, like slash your points. Like we're going to come to an agreement together to be like, hey, I understand that you think this was the best choice, but we're not going to do this anymore. Or the next time you're going to get -2. Now, I'm lenient when I'm saying that. If you're just bold-faced going for things and you're like, what? I didn't know we couldn't have beer. Like you're going to get -2 for that. But in general, if you try to make the best decisions that you can, we're going to use that as positive, and then we're going to move forward from there. So,
cool.
You know.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions that we have. I think right there. There's also a protein bar that you always make around this time, which is you make it for me, which is the cashews, the coconut, and the dates.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We should make that.
They're like Lara bars.
And then make some sort of content on around how to make those. And then you guys, obviously, within your groups and your teams, share recipes a lot. That's something that was super valuable. So don't be afraid to get on those group chats and kind of show what you guys are using
recipes
as quick snacks
and
recipes, anything you're doing for lunches, or as far as you're
things
doing
that are working for you,
more convenient meal prep and stuff like that. Share it. That's what that group is for. Also too, Grace and I plan to be doing these lives and then also making content around it. So give us your guys' questions on stuff, so that way Grace has more work to do and figuring out how to research them. And I'll just sit here and yell over her on live.
And remind her what she's not doing.
Yeah, that's personally my role. And then I'll chant about the book for a moment. Any approved? Okay, so here's a new one here. Any good approved frozen meals 4 times we can't prepare?
So in terms of an entire meal, no.
But there's ways around that.
There's definitely ways around that. And there's some different, like there's a Foster Farms, those chicken breast pieces of cut up like chicken breast from Costco. They're frozen and you literally, it's already cut and it's not gross or like rubbery chicken.
Yeah.
And you can throw it in a pan. And then Costco also makes like a good stir fry frozen vegetable. And you can just throw that in too. Trader Joe's has little bags of rice that you can throw in the microwave. And then in like literally we're talking 5 minutes, all that stuff goes from frozen to ready to eat. And then we're also going to introduce other kind of not frozen, but just like prepackaged, ready to go kinds of meals. One of them being from Trifecta.
Yeah, we'll do some of the stuff with Trifecta, but then I also think we'll want to provide, and this is something that I could kind of help out with, and we'll do maybe some way to do some cheap meal prep on a real tight budget and stuff like that, and then something that's real convenient to heat up.
And then convenience because I think convenience is a huge thing when you're trying to go for frozen. You're trying to just be like, not something I have to think about. So convenient and then also super cheap.
You just said it before I could finish talking it. So yeah,
I wanted to do that.
I know. That's
I took
fine.
the words.
It's your show, girl. Get it.
It's
You know
Matt
what I'm saying?
show.
Obviously. Okay, so we're gonna ask you guys at this point in time to do us a favor for that algorithm and smash that like button.
Okay.
That's what Dave says there. But but to your point about the convenient, yeah, it's a thing they say on YouTube. Smash that like button. Press the like button. Helps the YouTube algorithm. I would appreciate it so much. But convenience in meals, I think, is going to be the biggest thing for us because not only will that help with longevity if you guys continue to do this, but we also have a lot of people that are in the like first responder or the nursing community. And we know that your guys' hours and work schedule is crazy. So being able to come home to like have something ready to rock or multiple solutions for that
I will
is
also
important.
say, I think the convenience thing is bigger now more than ever. I think we jokingly tell ourselves that we're home more and it's easier. And I think being home more has made it more difficult because when we were going to the office or leaving to go to work, we had a schedule, we had a routine. If it wasn't done by 8 p.m. on Sunday, it wasn't done. So it was easy to get it done before then. Now we have all this time, like there's no specific lunch time, there's no lunch break. And I think that's made it harder. So I think using those same kind of routines that we're saying for people that are gone, people that are out of the house and having like a plan and a routine for your meals, I think that'll make it a lot easier when you're stuck at home.
Yeah. And ask lots of questions
Bored
on
in the
that.
House and I'm in the house.
Oh,
bored.
no. God, I hate that song. And make sure if you guys have questions around that or ways that there are things that you need help with that, let us know in particular because we could continue to make some content around the solutions that we actually use or ones that we could find together to then help you guys in the future. Last one here. Can I take this question? The clarification on acceptable cheese.
Oh, this is huge. Yes, we needed to go over this, Brandon. Great. Hear it. Let's hear it.
Wait, are you serious? I thought you were...
No, the hot cheese, cold cheese is a huge argument all the time.
Yes, here it is. Here's the deal. If the cheese is cold, you could eat it.
It has nothing to do with the temperature of the cheese, by the way.
Right. It has to be a cold cheese, cube cheese, and you can't heat it up. Once it's heated and melty and good, it is no longer acceptable. You cannot eat the cheese.
It completely changes the chemical structure. Kidding. No, it doesn't. Cheese, huge. Yes, this is one of the things we needed to go over. In general, when you're eating cheese and it's cold, so we're talking Baby Bells, we're talking string cheese, we're talking adding cheese to a salad so that we get protein and calcium and all of those things. The salad one gets me because some people like throw shredded cheese on it. We are using cheese for its nutritional value and we're getting something out of it. On the other hand of that, if we're eating hot cheese, so we're eating cheese sauce out of a gas station button. Do those even exist? Or we are melting cheese because we made like a really great chili and we're just putting cheese on top of it. Or we're eating a sandwich or a panini.
We got that idea making me hungry.
Okay. And we're melting cheese on it on top of our chicken just to give it, whatever. At that point, it's not necessary anymore. That is just adding fat. It's adding calories and it's unnecessary. It's just adding some like taste to our meal. So cheese in itself isn't bad. I would say the amount of cheese we eat, that can be bad. So we're trying to avoid that when it's added and it's just kind of adding calories and fat. But cheese in its own, don't think it's the devil. So string cheese, that's like a great option for a lot of people, or different types of goat cheese, cottage cheese, feta cheese. Those are all really great things still.
Awesome. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. We already covered all of these questions here. All right, I think at the 45-minute mark, we won't take any more of your guys' time. Thank you so much for joining. I was searching for this one here. And don't forget that Albert and I are on every Tuesday at 11 a.m. with Shooting the Fit podcasts coming live from the office in the gym. Okay, so thanks for joining. Keep those questions coming for us.
Have them join you in the challenge, they said.
As we will we will continue to make some content here. Thank you so much for your time. Anything else you want to say before we dip out?
No, but I'm very excited for you guys, and just keep talking to your teams, and I can't wait to see where you guys end up in 8 weeks.
Yeah, we're excited to see all the transformations. Rely on each other for the accountability. And we out. Bye. Maybe. Wrong button.
I'm just going to sit here smiling.
This time we're actually out. Wait, we're not.
Oh my God.
I don't know how it's not working. I don't know.